Welcome everybody to a new video, and the people that actually want to learn about what trading really is like and somebody that will not bullshit you on the reality of trading. In this video, I wanted to sit down with you guys and have another completely raw, completely uncut video, no filter, of just off the top of my brain, whatever comes to mind of some things that I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys with today. So if you can't sit still and you need to see a little GTA race at the bottom of your screen because your mind can't control paying attention for this long, I suggest clicking off this video and going to watch something else, because you're probably going to fall asleep unless you actually care about your success and you care about your future. If that's the case, grab some water, grab a little drink, sit down, and let's have a quick little chat. So in today's video, there's a couple things that I want to go over. As you can tell from the title of this video, I want to go over deep into my personal philosophy and psychology with trading, and just my ideology of how I think, and the journey throughout when I first started trading to where I am now, how it started to shift over time, how I was able to learn about my mistakes, learn about my failures, and really have a lot of deep, true introspection. And in this journey, ended up becoming and continuing to become the best version of myself over time, throughout failure and throughout hardship. And that's really the main thing I want to go over with you guys today is, number one, what are the things that you can do to get to the best version of yourself, the best trader for yourself, and what are the things that makes up that as a trader, the best traders, and the mindset that it takes to be able to get to that position. So the first thing I want to start with is just a little bit of my journey, because this is important to understand the little stepping stones and the little domino effect that comes with trading if you are paying attention to it. And this is another thing we're going to be talking about, is observation and awareness. That is going to be a very big key in this entire video, is observation and awareness. And not just with trading, but with everything in life. So throughout my journey, I started trading in high school. When I was a freshman in high school, I started trading. I had multiple accounts. I originally started with penny stocks, quickly realized after a month, 2 months, that I didn't really have the capital to be able to make a lot of money with penny stocks. Eventually ended up finding options, traded options for around 1.5 to 2 years. Had on and off success, but eventually lost money in the long run trading a bunch of different strategies, supply and demand, support resistance, just dumb stuff that I couldn't work. Found futures, found ICT. A year after finding ICT, I ended up having a $300,000 year, and up until now, to where I am, I've made just over $730,000. Now, I'm just going to tell you right now, ICT as a strategy itself did not make me profitable. It applied and gave me an opportunity to be able to view the market in a way that I could take advantage of. Yes, but ICT itself isn't some magical strategy that's going to make you profitable unless you have the implementation, the mindset, the discipline, and the philosophy to be able to back that. Because most of you guys, you probably know, like, you have strategies that work. You've seen your strategy probably have success. You've won a couple trades before, but that's not what makes real success. You can have 1 or 2 winning trades, but then somehow you always end up blowing it up. Why do you think that is? That's what we're going to get into in this video. So now that we got the story out of the way, 95% of the problems that you make in your trading career always come back to the source. And that source is you being focused on making money. You care more about the idea of making money. You care more about the freedom. The entire social media space in the trading industry has pushed this narrative onto your brain, where every decision you make is focused on the outcome that you are looking for, which is, I can't wait to buy a new car. I can't wait to drop out of school. I can't wait to do all this. And every decision you make has that specific intention. And when money is wrapped around that, you become connected to the outcome. And in trading, you cannot be connected to the outcome because you are simply an observer. You have no connection to any bias. You have no connection to any outcome. You are simply an observer that is taking the data that's being given to you, and you are making a decision based off that response. As soon as we start to tie outside emotional connections into these decisions is when emotions start to arise and bad decisions get made. And look at all of the problems that you've had in your trading career. When you come into the market, when you're on a winning streak, you become overconfident. You become so overconfident that you go into the market, you take one loss, and you're like, it's all good. You take another loss, it's all good. And then you keep going until all of your profits of the week have been blown up. And it's because you aren't in a longevity mindset. You're focused on making money, and you're not focused on consistency, and you're not focused on building good habits. So the number one thing that makes up a winning trader, and the number one thing that, I wouldn't say the number one thing, but one of the biggest things about my mindset and my deepest philosophy is once I came to this realization that money doesn't come, or at least long-term money. If you want to make money in the long term, it doesn't come from getting lucky. It comes from constantly building good habits. And so I thought to myself in my journey when I was in, let me think, senior year of high school, right before I had my 300K year. When I was a senior in high school, the year before, I specifically remember on a car ride. I have this recording. I want to see if I can put it in this video too. I'll see if I can go back and find it. I have a recording of me in my car after blowing up my account. And I used to do this all the time, and I highly recommend this. You want to be open and honest with yourself because trading is you versus you. You need 1,000,000% accountability with every single decision that you make. If you swipe something under the rug, you will never be successful. So that's another thing. You need to completely push your ego to the side because if you don't, you're never going to be successful. You need to take 100% accountability. Even if you think it wasn't your fault, it is your fault because it's nobody else's fault but you. So I blew my account, and I was in the car, and I was driving to school, actually. And I put my phone up on my little stand and recorded myself for 20 minutes. And it was me just being like, how many times am I going to continue to make the same mistake over and over and over and over again? When I tell myself I'm not going to do it, I learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson. And I sat there and I was like dumbfounded. I was like so dumbfounded as to how the fuck could I not change? It's like, how could I be able to get slapped so many times in the face and still make the same mistake over and over and over again? And I sat there and I contemplated this question for a while. And I'm sure many of you are contemplating the exact same question. Why do I make the same mistakes over and over again, but yet I still can't seem to fix it? And the simple answer to that all has to do with the intentions, the false scenarios, the dreams, the goals, everything that you think does good for you, that motivates you, that wants you to keep going, actually does the complete opposite. And let me explain why. When you are put in a situation, in an environment that you need to make precise decisions that are not based on emotion. Imagine you are a Navy SEAL or a sniper, and you're put in a situation where you need to act like that. No emotion, no nothing except pulling the trigger. Your intention as a sniper is to take out the target. That is it. A sniper is not on that roof protecting his men thinking about how he's going to get a Purple Heart. Think about that. A sniper isn't on the roof protecting his men, constantly thinking of how he's going to get a Purple Heart. He's there protecting his men. So why are you in the market constantly thinking about how much money you're going to make and not fucking trading? And this is where I realized I had to reprogram myself. I had to reprogram myself to completely change what I wanted. Because I knew that if I constantly kept striving for the idea and the repetition of trying to make money, if I continued to hold on to that fucking desire and I wanted it so bad, I was like, I don't want to do school, I don't want to do anything, I want to work for myself, I want to make money. And if I kept holding on to that and I kept using that as my motivation, I kept using that as everything, whatever that is, I knew it was going to inevitably fail because every single time I did it, I failed. And I still was like, Justin, how can I get slapped so many times and still do the same thing over and over again? And I realized it was because I kept focusing on getting a Purple Heart when I should be protecting my men. And this is when I said, I'm going to reprogram myself. So I took a step back and I said, okay, what are the things that actually itself as the input, right? Because trading is an input-output game, right? The input is You build good habits, you trade well, and the output is you get money. But most of us are trying to go the opposite in the inverse. It's like we make money and then we worry about this later, right? It's like, what the fuck? How's that supposed to work? So I reprogrammed myself and I said, for 6 months straight, and this is, I'll tell you a little bit about like my journey and where I'm at as a trader. But during this time in my journey, for 6 months, I paper traded because I knew how important this step was in my trading journey. Number one, before I even get into this, stop caring about how long this is going to take. If you put a time limit on when you want to be profitable, of when you want to drop out, when you want to quit your 9 to 5, whatever it is, it's not going to work. You need to submit to the process. Every single person is different. Everybody makes their own completely unique decisions. Everybody thinks differently, and everybody has their own completely unique experiences with the market. If you put a time limit on yourself as to when you should be profitable, as when you should start making money, your decisions, again, will reflect that. You will be taking trades that aren't there. You will be pushing to something that you shouldn't be pushing towards because there is limitations. You're not being an observer. The market gives you the opportunity, not the other way around. You don't take what you can. You take what is given. And when you take what you can't and you let greed take over in fear of time and you don't submit to the actual process, you lose. You lose the game. One of the best analogies I like to use when it comes to structural trading, when it comes to the patience, submission to time, because it's like submission to time isn't just longevity-wise where it's like you learn a week, you learn a month, you're in it for a year, and then you keep going along the process and then until eventually you're profitable. But submission day to day, like intraday submission to time and looking for an actual trade. And one of the best analogies I like to use is think about trading as a game of Pictionary. You looking for a setup, you know what you're looking for, whether it's ICT or whatever strategy you trade. Like you know what you're looking for, and you're looking for a trade. And you're watching the market, and you see something start to form, and you're like, oh, this is it right here. And you take a long, and you get stopped out. And then you realize, oh, wait, that actually wasn't what I was looking for. Like, I actually realized I jumped in way too early, and you got stopped out. And then you got mad. Then you try to revenge trade, and then it spirals, blah, 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 blah. The analogy I like to use for this is think about the market as a game of Pictionary. Imagine you have one guess in a game of Pictionary, and I got a whiteboard right here, and I'm drawing. I draw a little half circle right here, and you jump out, and you're like, "That's a fucking hot dog," and I'm like, "Nope, brother, it's not a hot dog. It's actually, a little sailboat." And you jumped in too early because you didn't wait for the entire picture to be super super clear as to what it is, but you thought that you knew what you were doing because you're so focused on making money. You're so focused on being right. Just like a motherfucker that jumps too early in Pictionary. They want to be right. They want to be fast. They want to win. But when you're fast without efficiency, when you're fast without habits, when you're fast without patience, it really doesn't matter. There's a reason why the fucking tortoise beat the hare. And it's throughout so many things in life that we see these trends in philosophy and psychology of like, the difference between momentum and taking it slow. It's like you relate all of these different ideas to so many different ways in which we trade and the way we think in life. And think of it as Pictionary. When you're in the market, give yourself one guess. You have one guess for Pictionary. Wait for it to be so dumb clear where the picture is perfect. And you get to guess it and you say, that is a... Wait, what is that? Oh, it might be... No. Yep, that's a fucking sailboat right there. And you enter the trade because you have confidence and the picture is clear as to what it is. But because we are so focused on either, number one, missing out on the setup, I'm gonna miss out. We don't have the patience to wait for it to be dumb clear because we want to make money. We want the dopamine of just pressing a button, right? And then this is where the reprogramming happens. It's like, notice all the problems that happen when you're focused on making money. You jump in too early. You're focused on missing out of the trade, right? You think you know what you're doing when in reality you're just focused on like you want your dopamine hit. You just want to press a fucking button and you want your dopamine hit. When we shift the mindset, to being and building satisfaction from building good habits is when you will see the most success in your journey. And this is where, in my journey, I took 6 months and I paper traded. I didn't trade any capital for 6 months because I knew this was going to be the most important time in my entire trading journey. And during this time, my entire goal was to simply reprogram myself to build satisfaction from doing what I needed to do. I stopped caring about how trading affected my life. I didn't care anymore to want it to take over. I didn't care anymore for trading to want to change my life, like everything, because I knew it would. When we overly romanticize the idea of profitability or over-romanticize the idea of being a profitable trader, we never become a profitable trader because we're thinking about the version of ourselves trying to be a profitable trader, not the version of ourselves that actually is a profitable trader. Do you understand what I'm trying to say there? Going back to, so many people get caught mentally in the idea, in the versions of themselves that are trying to be profitable. It's like when you tell yourself, and when you are constantly sitting there and you're trying to reflect on your self-identity and you're like, who am I? What am I focusing on? And you think of yourself as the version of you trying to be a profitable trader. You're the version of you trying to be a profitable trader, which means you're the version of you who still makes mistakes. You're the version of you who constantly still fails. You're striving. You're constantly looking for it. You can't seem to get it. It's just out of reach. It's just like love. It's just like money. It's just like business. It's just like relationships. You just can't seem to reach it because you're the version of you trying to be that, not the version of you that actually is that. What's the difference? The version of you that actually is that is a submissive process. It is a submissive process of learning to exchange striving for arriving. Being able to not constantly be focused on taking trades, taking more, on the markets 24/7, looking at the charts. And I did the exact same thing when I first started trading. I was obsessed with trading. I was on the charts literally 24/7. Again, it was good and bad because I was able to, get more market experience at least. Like I was able to view the market in order flow more, but it eventually just did bad because all it really did was build bad habits for me and how I thought was normal. It's like, oh, looking at the market all day is completely normal, or 1,000% options returns is completely normal. I'm gambling, and that's what honestly a lot of the trading industry has done to a lot of like new traders that come into the spaces. They think this shit is fucking normal, and sorry, brother, you're in for a rude awakening. And I think that it's like a canon event in any trader's journey, at least the people that actually end up making it somewhere deep in the journey. It's like you come to this realization that, wow, it's like all these gurus on Instagram actually don't know what they're talking about. Oh my God, crazy. Anyway, once we can come to this realization and we understand, number one, what the problem is. It's like we understand this is the problem. Focus on making money. Need to reprogram myself. After those 6 months, when I first started sizing back up again, after that process of me just reprogramming myself and me just focusing on trading, I submitted to the process. I stopped caring about the outcome, and I simply just focused on doing what I should every single day, and I journaled every single day. I focused on being patient, only taking my model, journaling every mistake, journaling every success, and taking 1,000% accountability on every single thing, and really took time to really understand what was holding me back. And something like in our private group that we do, and I highly recommend for you guys to do this, the homework that we did the other day with the group was I asked everybody to take a piece of paper. And the first thing I said is, number one, 95% of the problems that you have as a trader, you know how to fix, you don't fucking fix. That's number one. And I bet you're watching this and you're like, yeah, he's right. 95% of the problems you have as a trader, you know how to fix, you just don't fix it. So why is that? That's a deep question, and it takes some deep thinking. And this is what I call thinking time. You're going to take some thinking time. You that's watching this right now, I want you to pause this video. I want you to get a piece of paper, and I want you to set a 10-minute timer, and then I want you to come back to this video. You're going to put out a piece of paper, and at the top of the paper, you're going to write the question. I know my problems, and I know how to fix them. Why don't I fix them? And you're going to press your timer for 10 minutes, and you're going to brain dump. You're going to brain dump everything. And this is deep introspection. This is, I can't out of fear. I can't out of, I don't want to stay in school. Like all my problems, I feel like I don't fix them because I'm lazy. It's the fear of trying to prove my parents, like deep think. Everybody's different. But you won't be able to get past this point that you're stuck in if you don't take the accountability to even sit down and have some deep introspection. It's like, how can you even, like, if you're trying to grow as a person, trying to become the best version of yourself, as a trader, as a person, as a businessman, whatever it is, you need to be able to sit down and have deep introspection thoughts with yourself to be able to understand, how can I improve? Where am I going wrong? This is a common denominator where you start to recognize the trends in your life. You recognize the trends in your trading. Being an individual that is constantly focused on growth in business, in life, whatever it is a trend noticer. You are aware, right? Constantly aware of the emotions that you're doing, constantly aware of the way people around you are behaving, constantly aware of how the market's behaving, constantly aware of the outcome in which your inputs are being created, right? And it's like you start to come to this realization that there's a lot of trends that you just seem to not notice. And when you learn to step out of your body and become a third person, bird's eye view as your life, and you can become fully aware and have full observation of all of the things, emotions, decisions that you must feel and make in your life, but you are disconnected from it, life becomes an exciting video game, and you're just a goddamn boss that levels up every now and then, and that's amazing to see. But it's taking the time to actually think, like sit down, journal, and I guarantee you, once you do this, you're gonna have so much more clarity. You're gonna have so much more clarity as to what the problem is and how to fix it. Because a lot of the times we'll just continue to repeat, and we think we're doing the work. We're like, I'm putting in that work, baby. I'm getting there. When in reality, you're not working efficiently. Always focus more on efficiency than time. Hard work means fucking nothing. Your parents lied to you. And I'm just going to be completely honest. We are in a completely new age of internet money, of trading, of young entrepreneurship, of everything, of AI. Hard work doesn't necessarily mean what you think it means. Do I think you should work hard? Absolutely. But you should be working more efficiently than you are working hard. You might think that you're putting in the work when in reality, you're just wasting time. It's like, yeah, I guess kind of you're putting in the work, you're gaining experience, but you could cut that time so much farther down if you just did a couple other exercises and you focused on specific things. Why do I feel this way? Taking time, having isolation, really taking time to understand where you are in your life, where you are in your journey, what's holding you back, deep introspection. How does my childhood affect this? How does my relationship with my parents affect this? Like, I was talking to my buddy the other day, and we were just talking about how the relationship with our parents, the relationship with our families growing up, how specific things generated certain character aspects of ourselves and how it relates to us in business, how it relates to us in trading. And it's like people don't have the introspective capabilities to make that assumption. It's like, why? Do you not want to improve? Have you ever even thought about thinking about that? Like, how do you behave and how can you reprogram yourself to be the person you want to be? And this is another exercise that I want to give you right now. It's like, take another piece of paper and write down at the top, who is your name 2.0? So I would say, who is Justin 2.0? And write down all of the characteristics that you want to see in your future life. Where do you want to be? How much money do you want to make? What are your capabilities? How strong are you? What is your confidence like? How do you dress? Like, every single little thing that you want to be, write it down, manifest it. Because if you have a vision, then you can walk the steps to get there. If there's no vision to begin with, you're walking into the unknown. There has to be some sort of vision. There has to be some sort of drive. Once you apply vision and drive to consistent good habits, and you connect those things, and it's just consistency, and it's not focusing on the outcome of either of those things. It's not focusing on getting there. It's not focusing on building anything. It's focusing on doing the things you need to do, which will eventually get you there. And it feels like a seamless cycle. It feels like a seamless A to B from where you are right now, struggling, constantly questioning if you're ever going to make it, to the person you're finally going to come, and you're going to realize one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, holy shit, I got there. Like, I'm here. And it's going to feel seamless because you just simply submitted to the process. I'm currently in the process of growing a $5,000 account, all documented, all recorded, because I want to show you guys the actual process of growing an account and growing a small account. To number one, show you guys it's possible, and to give you guys an introspection as to how I think when it comes to growing an account like this. So this morning, before I ended up trading, the account was up around 85% from where we started. So it was at 9,200. So it started from 5K. We were almost up 100%. It was at 9,200. And today was actually the biggest loss I've taken so far on the account of $1,200. And I made a couple mistakes, didn't realize my sizing was too big. And again, you recognize the mistakes. You need to completely drop your fucking ego. As soon as you start trying to portray yourself as some god or some great trader, if like you don't make mistakes, you're everything. It's like, as human beings, we hate being wrong. It's like we're such egotistical beings where we want to prove something to other people. We want to show, it's like, yeah, look at me, I can do that. And look at me, I can do that. And again, that goes back to like childhood where it's like you didn't get the affirmation you wanted from your parents. And so you go to other people looking for it. But you come back to yourself and you constantly are looking for that affirmation from other people. And you use that with trading. And that's something I realized about myself. It was like I constantly was looking for affirmation. And when I started trading and I was looking for something to be good at because I was like mediocre at everything else in my life. And I found trading, I was like, I'm going to be fucking great at this. And I went around and I needed affirmation from people, even when I wasn't successful. I was like, yeah, I trade. Yeah, check this out, man. Look at me. When in reality, I was fucking blowing through accounts. And I bet a lot of you can relate to that right now. It comes back to, we want the affirmation. Zoom the fuck out. Why do you care? Why do you care what some random fucking thinks? You don't do this for them. I think there's just this big realization that I had. And I was in high school when I used to do this. I would go around, or people would come up to me. I used to trade in class, and they'd be like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trading. And I felt like I always had something to prove. And I realized how negatively this affected my growth and everything. My honesty, my integrity, it's just a mental masturbation. It's giving you the dopamine like you're actually profitable when you're not actually profitable, which keeps you from being profitable. And you have to come to this realization that you realize you're doing all these little things in your journey or in your life, whatever it is, like trying to boast, trying to do this, whatever. It's like, when you zoom out and you really take some deep introspection and you become aware, right? You disconnect from who you are as a person and you're aware of who you are. It's like, these are the problems that I have. And that's okay because I want to constantly improve as a person. But unless you can do that and you can zoom out and push your ego to the side, it's like, I have a lot of problems. I've had a lot of problems. And I'm okay with saying that. It's like, if you want to grow as a person, you have to be able to push your ego to the side. What are you hiding from? Look at your childhood. Look at how you've developed as an individual over the years. How does it relate to your trading? How do you use these things to now grow and fix problems? How are the problems that you have generated from other aspects of your life? Are you using the experience to benefit yourself and continue to grow from? Are you, like, what are you doing? We get in a standstill when nobody starts asking hard questions. And that is with everything in life, with politics, with world power, with a business and running a team, with a trader, is you get into a standstill when people start asking hard questions. And you should need to ask yourself more hard questions as a trader. Because it is you versus you. You need to be able to sit down with yourself and ask yourself, why do I keep making these same mistakes when I know how to fix it? And once you come down and you really realize, it's like, wow, I didn't realize I was making these problems because like I'm looking for the affirmation. Like I just really want my dad to be like proud of me, or my mom, like whatever it is. And you realize there's just this little back end. It's like once you get that out, and you can, number one, just realize and you just fucking say push. It's like, why? And you can just refocus your mind back onto where you are and just get back on path and say, we're doing this. Good habits, boom. This, I'm looking in, I'm building conviction, I'm journaling, I'm recognizing the problem. And you push your ego to the side and you become so aware of yourself, so aware of every problem that you have and every problem that you have. Something in me, I curse a little too much. I'm passionate. What can I say? But it's just being aware of how you interact with other people. What are some things that you want yourself to be? Who do you want to become? What is the version of yourself in the future that you're working towards? And I'm going to be honest, the biggest leaps in my trading and the biggest leaps in my life has come from asking myself hard questions. Why do I keep making this problem? Why do I care about proving other people like that I can do something? Why does that matter? And what that does is it starts to build your confidence back up. You start realizing it's like you're living your own life. You are the character. It's like you start realizing how fucking stupid it all is. It's like, why do I even care? Like, why do I care what this guy's doing on Instagram? Like, I go on Instagram, I watch YouTube, and I watch the random guy in his life, and I care more about this guy's life than my fucking own. Isn't that fucking crazy? Social media has just completely ruined so many young people's dreams and desires of ever becoming an actual human being to experience the amazing gratefulness of life. Because we're tied to social programming. We're tied to not being able to think for ourselves. It's like you're literally programmed to not think for yourself. You want to know why? You want to know how hard this trading journey has been? It's because you are socially programmed to not be able to think for yourself, to constantly be able to know you are stuck in a rat race, buddy. There's no way out of it because the government's got you in. You're stuck in a little fucking box with a little cube of cheese in there, and the cage is right on top of you, brother. You're done for. You have to be able to take a zoom out and cut through all of the social programming that you've just gone through your entire life. The way that you think, the way that... And honestly, I'll get into something right now, but in the last 3 months, and I haven't really talked about this actually before at all, I've gotten extremely close and extremely more connected with my religion and God in the last 3 months or so. I became a Christian. I started going to church a lot more. I started reading the Bible, and I started gaining and talking to God a lot. And mixing the ideology of the Bible and my connection with God with Taoism ideology and Stoic ideology has turned me into a man I could have only desired to be a couple years ago. And I still am excited to where I'm going, because I'm nowhere near where I know that I'm going to end up. But I don't think people realize you have a deep power within yourself. You have a deep, deep power within yourself and in your brain. You are built by God. This world is too perfect. You are too perfect. I was on the rooftop the other day, and I was going for a walk, and I was listening to meditation music, and I was meditating, I was journaling. And I just came to this state of being so aware of my surroundings and my situation in life and so in control. It was the most in control feeling I've ever experienced. And I feel like I say this a lot in my videos. It's like, this is the most enlightened. This is the most in control. It's because motherfucker keeps growing. And I highly recommend that you sought out to do the same, because life becomes super exciting when you're leveling up. Read books, start meditating, talk to God, spend more time alone, work on cool stuff. Like, just... That's what life is meant to do. Like, stop watching other people's lives. Like, I know you might be interested in me, and I thank you guys. I love you. But my goal is for me to tell you, go live your own life. Go live your own life. It's worth living. I think I even had this problem when I first started trading. And just as a kid, I used to watch and become so infatuated with other people on the internet. And I realized how much it just took away from my own life. Like, I was like, why can't I just go live that life? I was like, why would I watch somebody else go live that life when I can go live that life? Why? What are you scared of? A lot of people are just too scared to fail, too scared to think that they can't get there. And that's literally all it is. It's just the fear. You need to strip away that fucking fear. Because guess what? If I can do it, you can do it. If he can do it, you can do it. She can do it, you can do it. It is just self-limiting beliefs that are in between you and the version of you want to be. And when it comes to trading, a lot of the time, you just need guidance. When I first started trading, I had no real guidance as to what real trading looked like, as to what I should be focusing on. It was literally just, I remember joining, I was in like this old Discord I used to be a part of. And it was promoting just like buy SPY, QQ, buy SPY calls. And there's no analysis, there's no thesis. And I was like, oh, I'm going to buy it. And you see a little bit of success and you're like, I'm doing this shit. Like, I'm a trader. And this is such like early on in your journey. You're like, you think you know everything and you really fucking don't. And you quickly realize that's not the right way. And then you get to a point in your journey where it's like you have to break all of the social conditioning of what a trader looks like from all the negative, stuff that just the trading industry has come, which is completely all fucking wrong, promoting gambling. It's just like it's trying to take advantage of you because you're so focused on your dreams, you're so focused on making money, you get taken advantage of. You don't know any better. I'm so blessed to be able to be in a position to help people that I know are in old Justin's position. Starting out trading, not knowing who to trust. I feel so happy that somebody is with me than anybody else because I know my intentions, I know my heart, and I know my experience. And the amount of people that we've been able to help in the last 2 years is unfathomable. Like, it really is. And I'm so extremely grateful, and I'm glad and so blessed that God gave me this gift and the opportunity to be able to teach and speak and be able to help so many people because I really don't know what it is. I just like talking to people. Like, I just like conveying thoughts. I just like thinking. And it's like, even the last video I did that was just completely raw, the amount of amazing feedback that I got from that video. And it was just like, I didn't know it was so special because it was just me thinking. It was just me like just letting my thoughts go. And I'm just so glad and grateful that I'm in a position to be able to help other people and genuinely improve people in their life. And especially with trading and like, especially like the mentorship, somebody just got a 55K payout and then a 20K payout and then an 8K payout and then a 10K payout. It's like people are quitting their fucking jobs. I'm like, is this real? Like, absolutely crazy. So I'm extremely, extremely grateful to be able to help people and be able to communicate these ideas and communicate the guidance that I wish I had when I first started trading. Because you really need a mentor. Guys, I had a comment or a question the other day that I got asked where it's like, why spend money on information when you could do it yourself? You want to know the key to my success, guys? I'm 20 years old. 20. People are like, Justin, how the fuck are you 20 years old? I'm going to tell you why. Because I spend money for information. I scale efficiently. When we talked about, remember, efficiently. The difference between being efficient and what you think is hard work. I work efficiently. That's why I'm 20 steps ahead of most people. Because I pay for information. I pay for mentors. I paid $15,000 for 2 months with a mentor who used to train Navy SEALs. He used to train Special Forces for mindset and leadership coaching and how to become the best version of myself. I've spent $20,000 with another mentor about how to run a specific team, sales team, business side, the back end stuff, funnels, like all of these things. I've spent things on psychology and philosophy, and that's able to where I am now. Because why would I spend the years of myself trying to figure all that out? Instead, I can pay to get somebody who's already done it all to then share with me the knowledge. I think people are afraid to admit that, like, that's a good thing. It's like people don't want to spend money to other people because they're like, oh, they're going to scam me. And honestly, like, you just use your intuition, please. Like, just please use your intuition. It's so easy. If you're actually being an observer and you're being aware of what people are saying, it's like you can easily tell if somebody has experience or not. It's like, how do they talk? How do they convey their experiences? Can you relate to it? If not, you're like, oh, this guy, what the fuck is this guy even saying? It's like, oh, Lamborghini, I'm bye. Take a step back. Be aware. Start to have personal conviction with your own decision making. Sorry if I've kind of been all over the place this video. Again, it's raw, uncut. I'm just letting my thoughts flow, and whatever comes. Pause. But I would say we're probably going to end it off here. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video. If you did get something out of this, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And also comment what other content you want to see from me. If you like this raw, uncut stuff and you want me to do more of it, leave some stuff in the comments of what you want me to actually talk about during these kind of raw, uncut things. If you are still struggling with your trading, not knowing what the problem is, can't seem to get back on your feet, I'm going to leave a link in the description if you want to learn more about the Tactical Traders Mentorship and how I help people and how we've been able to see and help hundreds of people get over like $500,000 in payouts with all of our students. Insanity. I'll leave a link in the description so you could learn more about that. Other than that, enjoy your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.